BeastNet is brought to you by James Safety Services in partnership with OCR Buddy and OCR Strong. Here we discuss all things OCR and fitness related. Welcome to BeastNet.
Oh, how you been?
I'm okay. I'm slowly killing myself with work. How are you?
Yeah. Um, Same kind of. I mean, work hasn't been too bad. It's been kind of busy. We slowed down a little bit during the government shutdown just because a lot of what we do relies on the government and we do a lot of government contracts. And then had kind of a push right as they opened back up because all of a sudden contracts started coming out and I had to do a bunch of paperwork for it. But other than that, I mean, work hasn't been too bad. It's just kind of been everything else in life
Yeah,
has gotten busy.
I feel that. I always make the joke that if I could just train clients one-on-one all day, every day, and not have to worry about anything else, I would have no stress.
Yeah.
It's when everything else gets involved that it becomes a headache.
Yeah, because I mean, people don't think about it. They think that all you do is you train clients and that's everything else. They forget about all the back end stuff, the writing, keeping track of payments, bills, everything else that goes along with it that people don't think about when it comes to a trainer. You know,
Yeah, even something as stupid as like having to find parking at the studio. Like if I can just be at the studio all day and not have to worry about, am I going to get a parking ticket or like
yeah.
where am I going to eat because there is nothing around the studio. Like, just literally let me have clients the entirety of the day and not have to
Hmm.
worry about food. I mean, yes, I should worry about
Yeah.
food because I'm not eating, I'm not drinking enough water, I'm not, doing all the things. But like, if I just have nonstop clients all day, I don't have any stress.
Yeah.
I'm also not taking care of myself, but you know,
There's always a catch 22. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's one of it's weird because for me, like race season's over. My final race
Hmm.
was pretty much, South Carolina, and I
Yep.
did I did the ultra, and then it's like the race season's over, but at the same time, my brain is like, okay, what am I doing next year? What are my
Yeah.
plans? What's going on? What do I need to train for now? And I think one of the big things for me, I've decided I want to do Fort Lauderdale, I think, Ironman in 27.
Okay.
So next year is going to be pretty much a training year. I'm going to do a couple races here and there. I'm going to do some not some Ironmans, but some triathlons to get, that feeling of the triathlons, get the practice in the transitions, all that kind of stuff. A few Spartans as I'm needed for like the team that I work with. But other than that, it's going to pretty much be a training year. I just need to because I mean, a full iron is a lot.
A lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
And I've muddled my way through the half irons I've done, but there's really no muddling your way through a full. I mean, you have to like the little issues that I've had that have set me way back on the halves. I have to be, I think, trained to a level that those little issues aren't going to affect me as bad as they did. Because on a full, I mean, every issue that I've had that's kind of I've been able to work through barely on a half Ironman would have destroyed me on a full because I
Yeah.
would have had a whole nother you know, whole nother half to do. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of my thoughts. That's one of the reasons why I went through it. I mean, you saw I actually like cleaned up my gym, reorganized it a little bit, made it so that everything is usable again. I mean, I had my space for doing my VR workouts and doing any other workouts I wanted to do. It's probably about a 8 by 15 square where I can do workouts, pretty good, decent size with the mats on the floor. And then I had the bike, but everything else was kind of covered with
Hmm.
crap. So now I've cleaned it all up. So I have my pull-up bar, you know, my ab, whatever tower thing with the pull-ups and yeah, that kind of thing. And then I have my row machine and the treadmill. I need a new treadmill, but that one you can't really run on. All you can do is walk. If you run,
Okay.
it's too narrow. So when I run, I end up stepping on the sides. So it's one that was really made, it's only made to be like kind of a walking, it's not made to run, like really run on.
Right.
So I missed the one I had in Washington, but I let that one go because I was going to get a new one when I got here, but I didn't get the right one when I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of been, my thoughts lately. It's been, getting through the Christmas. I'm not a huge December fan. So, I mean, my birthday's right at the beginning of the year, and then that's always been overshadowed by, I mean, Christmas and Thanksgiving and being the youngest of six. So it's never been huge to me. And then Christmas, I'm just like, when I became an adult, I started not liking Christmas because it becomes less of about presents and more about how are you going to survive. Like, how am I going to make sure that the kids and that everybody else around me has a great Christmas? And I think that's what made it bad for it. It became less about me and more about making sure everybody else, but in the same way, it's still about me feeling good that I made everybody else's Christmas good. And yeah, it's not my favorite holiday.
Yeah. No, I haven't liked Christmas in a really long time. I'm great at Christmas, but I don't like Christmas.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah. I literally just put up the Christmas stockings today because I'm like, I have them. I never
No.
actually put away my Christmas stuff from last year because I attempted to get into the holiday spirit, but then I just like tucked them into a corner in my living room and then was like, oh, look, here are my stockings sitting right here. So I might as well just like hang these up.
Yeah.
But like my friends and I are going to Minneapolis for Christmas to watch the Lions and the Vikings. So like I'm essentially skipping Christmas here. Uh, so like I don't want to do anything.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. I don't see a problem with that idea. I mean, it sounds good to me. But yeah, and that's kind of like us. We're like we have blow ups and all this stuff for Christmas that we put out. I haven't even pulled them out of the shed yet. And then last year we pulled the tree out and it literally sat because we got a fake tree when we moved down here, which broke my heart because I'd never had a fake tree. But we literally pulled it out and it sat in the bag, like on the table that we never even took it out of the bag and put it up. And this year we
Well,
haven't even,
if it makes you feel any better, I've never had a real tree. Last year I had real garland and
yeah,
like in the spirit of my all my Christmas stuff was just sitting in the corner for the last year. I still have pine needles in various parts of my house that from the garland that was like
nice.
shedding down the
Yeah,
wall because I can't actually have a tree with midnight, but I was able to put garland up along the entirety of my room to
yeah.
hang my ornaments.
Well, that's what we worried about was having the puppies and getting in the end of the tree. But it was just part of it too is like for Christmas, we did it last year. We're doing it this year. Hi, midnight. We're um we're going to Seattle.
Okay.
So we're going to be in Seattle for like 5 days, but it's over Christmas. We literally fly home Christmas Day on like a red eye in the middle of the night. I think we
Oh,
leave at like at 9 o'clock Christmas Day, 9 p.m. and fly home. But it's like, so we're not even going to be here for Christmas. We're going to be in Seattle. So it's like, why put up
yeah.
all the crap?
Yep.
Yeah. And what's funny is before we never did. Like we didn't when we were younger with the kids, all we did was put up a tree. And that we didn't put up anything else. It wasn't until like I was forced to have Christmas for my entire family at my house one year because my sister couldn't host. So we hosted it. So then everyone's like, well, you got to decorate. And I'm like, oh. So that's the only reason we even own stuff because it's like I had to buy stuff so I could decorate for the family to come to Christmas. I'm like, why don't you guys buy stuff and decorate my house then?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have all the things to decorate. I just, as a single woman, like, what's the point? Who am I decorating for? I don't have
Midnight.
anybody. I know, right? But all she
Yeah.
wants to do is play with everything and destroy it all.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, yeah, I get that. That's the best part about puppies is I mean they just want to play with everything.
Yeah. I mean, she's in her terrible twos right now. So, like, everything is a toy.
Yeah.
except actual toys.
Yeah. That's true. That's our dogs. We buy them toys and they eat boxes.
Yeah. Yep.
So they love cardboard and love boxes.
Yep. I have had to pick up the pieces of numerous like random boxes
Hmm.
this weekend.
And we have to make sure when we get boxes that we take stuff out of them because
Yeah.
if we don't, the dogs will start to eat it and then destroy whatever's in the box.
Yeah. My roommate doesn't spend much time at the house. But she orders a lot of things. And when I come home and if there are things sitting outside of our door for her, I don't bring them in because I can't trust midnight. And
Yeah.
like she knows that I don't bring them in the house strictly because I don't want to be held liable if midnight destroys it.
No, I get that completely. Yeah, I get that.
Like at least when she comes home and brings my stuff in, like midnight is going to be in her crate.
Yeah.
So like midnight's not destroying something if I'm not home. But you know,
Yeah.
it could very well I go in, take a shower, or turn my back on her for 5 minutes and she's gotten into whatever my roommate has ordered.
I can see that. They're amazing, but at times you're like, come on.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She's just too smart.
Yeah. Ours, we just can't get on a good sleep schedule.
Yeah.
They want to get up, and part of the problem is my wife, she like can't sleep through anything. So the second
Hmm.
they wake up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and start whining because they're in their kennels, she'll get up and like she's up. And I'm like, just get up, let them go to the bathroom, and I bet you money they'll go right back to bed. And she just, nope, she stays up with it. I'm like, you're out of your mind.
I think midnight wishes I would stop waking her up at 5 o'clock
Oh,
in the morning.
yeah. And see, for me, I get up anyway because I'll get up. Usually, I get up like 5:30 ish, and then I go out in the gym and do 45 minutes to an hour of cardio before I start work at 7. But my commute is literally the 10 minutes from walking from the gym into my office, so
Yep.
or the 10 feet. So it's no big deal. So yeah, so I'll go out there and work out. So that's usually my get up in the morning and go work out. So because that's been
Yeah.
my big thing now is I'm trying to find new ways. Because my biggest problem is I know I do a lot of cardio, but I'm not doing enough with strength. So that's kind of the thing I'm planning this winter is to put more strength into my workout to get some more strength
Good.
workouts. So
Finally.
yeah, I know. Right now my body's just angry because I did the Pretty Mike challenge yesterday and my freaking shoulders hate that. So
Yeah.
it's all the weight, but it's crazy. Because you've seen what that one is, right? The 100 pounds, and then you do a quarter mile, and drop 10 pounds, do a quarter mile,
Yes.
drop another 10. So it's tough mainly because usually the way I do it, I have a 40-pound vest and then I put 60 pounds in my rack.
Oh,
So it's that first until I get like 30 or 40 pounds, the first 4 laps is rough. Partly too because I have the vest on and then the ruck over the top of it, it doesn't fit quite right. So, and trying to get it adjusted. But but I only do it once a year. So, but I've been doing some
yeah.
other workouts. That's why in the gym you saw I had the my sandbags out, everything else, so I could start doing more strength stuff to build up the muscles rather than just doing. Because mainly all I've been doing is running, biking, and swimming.
Right.
So, and I know I need to do the strength. And then the
You do.
next is to figure out the diet, but that's always the hardest part.
Hmm.
I like food.
It's why I work out so much.
Yeah. Yeah. That's been my thing. Like I said, I gotta figure out the strength, work that in, get the better running in. I'll get there.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what are you up to? I know you've been training a lot with customer or your clients stuff like that. So what do you got planned for the getting ready for next year? What crazy ideas you got?
I have no idea. Like I haven't really had
It's the
any
best
real
way.
motivation since I finished Killington and then I did High Rocks and then I went on vacation and I was like, I don't really want, like, there's nothing I want to do for the rest of this year, but like I feel like I'm not ready to go into an off season yet. So I ran Fenway once, which is like a difference from like my usual 5 laps of Fenway. So
Yeah.
I only did it on the Saturday. And then I was like, I should do something else. So Midnight and I ran a turkey trot, and we PR'd our turkey trot despite her wanting to meet all of the other dogs. She finished second female dog overall, got her own
Nice.
little medal. She was so proud of herself. And
That's
like,
awesome.
I'm just really struggling right now because, like, as much as I have not wanted to, like, fully admit it, like, obstacle course racing is really hurting. Like, we are
Hmm.
in a low point, and like, I'm trying to stay positive and find things to do. And it's like, I'm still like really upset about everything with Spartan. Like they are just gutting everything. You know,
Hmm.
they lied to us about OCRWC and they're now sending that over to Australia, essentially killing that brand. They are taking away, they took away Toughest. They took away the Holy Grail. They're taking away Sundays of Tough Mudder. And it's like I would love to do World's Toughest Mudder again, but
Yeah.
mid summertime, World's Toughest Mudder isn't as easy to plan for because like it's so hard to build your mileage up to get World Toughest Mudder mileage for the middle of the year.
Hmm.
So like maybe if they would have put it in like a September, I could have said yes, this is feasible. But I don't think I would be ready to even go for 75 miles for June. But then that's also the same weekend as um, national championships for USA OCR. But did you see? I don't know if you've seen this, but
Mm.
so Spartan moved the New England weekend in Central Mass, the Super and Sprint weekend, from August to the same weekend in June as national championships for USA OCR. Okay, that's fine. That's not their thing. They put a Deca Fit in Boston that same weekend.
Wow.
Like, why would you put a Deca Fit where you are renting out the entire convention center an hour away from where you have essentially your only Massachusetts or New England weekend in the summer? Like
They do a lot of things that don't make sense.
you're pulling from your own base. Like
Yeah.
people are not going to go from, Boston Deca to go run a super or vice versa. That's not going to happen. And now you're saying you have to pick either or.
Yeah.
So like upset about that. Why should I give my Spartan my money for either of them? Like I'm not a Deca person. I don't agree with Deca. Whatever. Good for everybody that does Deca. I'm proud of you for doing it. It's not for
Yeah.
me. High
I've never
Rocks
done one.
really isn't for me. But Deca, even less for me. I just don't agree with how that all came about, and I don't agree with the exercises that they use. But congratulations to everybody who's running Deca World Championships this weekend. You guys are crushing it. It's nothing about you. Um, but yeah. So if I race anything the weekend of USA OCR National Championships, realistically, I should be at National Championships. But
Yeah.
I'm torn between like, I would love to run that. I would love to race it. But I know with everything I do for USA OCR, I should be there working. That's also the same weekend of the Cirque series at Killington that I ran this year, and I loved. I wanted to go back. So like, can't really plan anything for that. Yeah, I'll do Savage Boston again. Would love to do Savage Boston. I wanted to do Killington again, but now with everything going on with Spartan, I don't want to give them my money. I don't want to race
Yeah.
Spartan.
And I
So
get that.
I'm
I definitely get
thinking
that.
I might sign up for the Mid-State Massive next year, which is essentially a 100-mile race from the New Hampshire border to the Rhode Island border across Massachusetts.
Oh wow,
So that would be in October. So I might do that. But
that sounds
like
fun.
the other races that I want to run, there are things that may conflict with them, USA OCR stuff that like I know I should be working at that. And it's like I would love to be able to be that person that says, yeah, I'm on the board and I'm an athlete and I am going to go and I'm going to race this instead of help out. But like in good conscience, I'm not that person. If I am there as, a board member, I want to be there working and promoting it and creating more opportunities for other people. It's not about me. But like I want to race too. Like just like the World Championships in Ireland. I'm very Irish. I live in Boston. My family came through Boston from Ireland. Huge Dropkick Murphys fan. Went over to Ireland with Dropkick Murphys. Been there. I was at the first Spartan race in Ireland. I want to go race in Ireland. But I know if I were to go to Ireland with USAOCR, I should be as a technical official.
Yeah,
So
I can
like
see that.
it's so hard for me to put together my schedule when like I'm fighting this battle of do I go as personnel or do I go as an athlete?
Yeah,
And like I'm not that great of an athlete to say I'm going to go as an athlete.
yes, I'm just not that great of an athlete, so.
But yeah, otherwise I'm really looking at doing more Cannon Cross races next year with Midnight, but nobody's posting schedules of those yet. Like the races that we have done, they're not being advertised. I want to get my schedule set and I want to know when she can race. And then I want
Yeah.
to start to figure out, okay, how do we get to, the obstacle course race in Alabama? Like realistically, how do people travel to Alabama with their dogs?
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I couldn't imagine traveling with my dogs. They're nuts.
yeah. Like Midnight's great in a car. But like, do I want to drive 2 days to get to an obstacle course race and 2 days back? Yes, I would do it for her. Yes, I want to do it. But like, can I afford to take all that much time off to do it?
Yeah.
And then if I do that, do I run it for both days? Because like,
Yeah.
I need to make it worth our while. But then like the next weekend, there's another obstacle course race for dogs in North Carolina. So do I just plan a vacation and say, we're going to drive to Alabama and then we are going to go visit my sister in South Carolina and then we're going to stop in North Carolina and then we're going to keep coming home? I don't know.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it might be good.
Maybe it'll
Now,
be good.
those are the types. That's kind of one thing for me. Like next year, I'm kind of, I'm not sure how feasible traveling is going to be next year. So that's kind of why I'm thinking. I don't know. And the only time I'm really doing Spartan at all is if I'm doing them with the team. Like
Yeah,
the only reason I did Ultra in South Carolina was because they needed a guide for a blind athlete.
right.
So, which actually ended up being a whole thing. But we hit mile because I didn't tell. Have we talked about?
No, we haven't.
We went. Blind Pete had done the para world, championships for Spartan the weekend before.
Hmm.
So he'd done like the trifecta the weekend before. So he was sore and tired and everything from that. So we got to about mile 10. He was actually getting dizzy, having issues, and I'm like, "Eh." And so he stopped me and said, I can't do another lap. There's no way. And I'm like, cool, I'm glad you said it because I was thinking it. And then luckily there was another group that was with us that was like, part of the team that was right behind me that was only doing the beast. So I'm like, hey, can you guys take Pete, finish the beast with him? I'm gonna take off because I want to finish this ultra. And at that point, I think we're at like mile 10 and I had an hour and a half till cutoff.
Okay.
So, and I knew I needed to go.
Hmm.
So I bolted out of there, ran as quick as I could. I ended up coming across with cutoff with like, I think 25 minutes to spare.
Okay.
Made it through, got through cutoff, and then pretty much just took off. I'm like, I gotta go. Um, Caught up to like pretty much, I think I was dead last when I came through. I caught up to a couple girls, talked to them for a minute, and then like I'm not going to dilly dally. I need to go and I don't want to be at the cut the whole time. I want to get ahead. Um, Ended up going for a bit, and then the sweeper actually caught up to me at one point, and I'm like, wait, there was people behind me, and he's like, yeah, no, there's not. It's just you. I'm like, oh, awesome. So I guess they quit. Um, and then kind of went. He caught up some other people. We caught up some other people, and the sweeper went with them. I ended up finishing with, I think I had like an hour and a half to spare. So I finished
Wow.
in, so it was interesting partly because I stopped a couple times and the sweeper had me actually at one point one of the people needed help, so he had me help somebody for a while. So that slowed me down. But I knew I was fine on time and I'm like, I'm gonna finish anyway. And I didn't plan on being quick because I was with an athlete, but it was good. Afterwards I felt good. My body wasn't, like after North Carolina the year before, I was wrecked when I finished the ultra. This
Hmm.
one I was totally fine. Got up the next morning, totally fine. Did both the super and the sprint, no issues. So I felt good about my fitness level was. My speed isn't where I want it to be, but my fitness level was good to where like an ultrafecta weekend didn't destroy me. So that felt good. But
That's great. I still will never bring myself to do an ultrafecta. I have no desire.
I just, for me, it's one of those ones where it's kind of like the thought you were thinking of, with doing both days at the one. If I'm going that far and the races, I don't have to, because I'm helping the team and doing whatever, um, I might as well. So,
Right. Then that makes sense. Um, in that case, like if I weren't there racing for myself, definitely.
yeah.
But me, I mean, I would like to say I try to push myself in an ultra. Sometimes it maybe doesn't look like that if you look at my times, but
You know, but
um, yeah. My biggest struggle is that like I wish there was more opportunities to race ultras in obstacle course racing.
hmm
Like I genuinely want to keep ultra racing. I don't want to just trail race. I want
yeah.
more than just a trail race. And I get it, 100 miler is not just a race. It's not just a trail race. Like there is a lot to it. But
Yeah.
I recognize that running is not my strong suit. In no way am I ever going to be the fastest when I'm running, but being able to go through obstacles when you're 50 plus miles in or whatever else, like that is my strong suit. I have the grit and I have the strength and I can still be doing the obstacles. And like that is what I really want. It breaks up the monotony for me.
hmm
But like, yeah, running the mid-state massive will be great. I should really sign up for it and just fully commit. It's close enough to where my parents live that like I've been out on that trail. I've, done some training out on different parts of it. Like I can go out and train on it. They say that, the first quarter of the race is much harder than the rest of it. And it's because, you're going through the mountains, quote unquote mountains of Central Mass and whatever else. And like that's where I train.
hmm
So if I can continue to beat myself up there, like I'll be ready for it. But
Yeah.
I want to be able to do obstacles. I want more obstacle races. And like, I would love to throw frontline endurance onto the schedule, but there might be a reason why I can't do that. And if I run the Mid-State Massive, that would be a couple weeks after Midwest OCR, and I probably shouldn't run Midwest OCR if I have a 100 miler coming up in 2, 3 weeks, especially if I did endurance out there. So it's like, it's just tough.
It is. And I think that's part of the problem. I mean, that was one of the biggest problems we had, like, in Washington when I was there. Like, for obstacle course racing, you had like a 2 month window.
Yeah.
So you would have to like stack them up. And then sometimes you couldn't do ones because another one was the same weekend because they were all like, okay, we want to do pretty much June, July, and August.
Hmm.
And then you ran into like a couple years where Spartan, even though they owned a Tough Mudder, had like them on the same weekend.
Yeah.
And you're like, we only get like 5 races a year, and you're going to put two of them on the same weekend? Really?
Right.
You know, and that was, one of the biggest problems up there. And I mean, down here in Texas, I get more options. I want to do some of the Survivor and stuff like that. I mean, not Survivor, but my brain went dead. Some of the other races, those
Hmm.
Savage, some of those, the ones I haven't done before. It's just been haven't had the opportunity yet. And with focusing on triathlon, I want to get, I want that, I want to say I did an Ironman
Yeah.
at some point. So, and that's kind of why I want to push for that. But,
Yeah.
you know, and yeah, like I said, Spartan has lost. It seems like they've gone to the point, and I get it's a business, and that's the argument you get for people all the time. It's a business. It's like, yes, but they've gone away from what the people want, and
Yeah,
they've
they've
gone,
lost sight of their
yeah,
customer.
yes, because Joe has this whole thing of he has this vision, and it's like, this is the vision and this is it, and it's like, yeah, but you're the only one that sees that vision.
Yeah. But like at one point his vision was I want to be in the Olympics.
Eh,
And now I've legitimately reached out to him numerous times and said, here, we're working to get this into the Olympics. We're working to build the international stage. Do you want to work with us? And he doesn't respond.
hmm,
Like, so what is it? All he's ever wanted, and like, bless his heart, it's a business. I get it. I have been told by numerous people in the office they just want to collect email addresses to sell to their sponsors. They don't care once they have your email address. You can sign up for as many races as you want or you don't want. We got your email address.
yeah,
And now,
yeah,
phone number. How many text messages are we getting every single day from Spartan, from Tough Mudder? And it's like, you can reply, stop. They never stop. When you go to
no,
sign up, you can't opt out. They don't let you physically register without opting out if you opt out of your text messages. Next thing
yeah,
you know, I put my mom down as an emergency contact and she's getting Spartan text messages. Like nobody's going to sign up because they're getting spammed left and right.
yeah,
Like, give us something that we want, not endless text messages for a discount code for a race that's already massively overpriced. The discount isn't covering the amount of fees that you're making us pay.
yeah,
Like, I want this sport to survive so badly. But until we move past just the Spartans and the Tough Mudders, like it's not going to.
no,
People are too focused on like Spartan because they are the ones that are coming to, the town near you. Well, for Iron Man doesn't go to every single city or state. You got to travel for it.
yep,
Go travel for the good races. And
yeah,
unfortunately, Midwest OCR had to move up their date because Spartan decided to come and take their date. So then people aren't able to sign up for Midwest OCR because now it conflicts with something else that they didn't foresee having to be the case. And like we need people to start working together. And until Spartan decides to play nice with everybody, it's never going to happen.
no, no. And I mean, that's the thing, is that the problem that they forget, and we've talked about this before, is to most people, Spartan is like the top.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are intimidated by that. They don't want to go do a Spartan because they see what it is, and they're like, I don't want to do that shit. But then you back down and you look at some of these smaller ones, they're the ones that people are going to sign up for because they look funner, Mud Factory, some of those ones that are just whatever. Those are the ones that keep Spartan alive. Without these smaller ones getting people in the door saying, oh, this isn't that bad. This is kind of easy. Maybe I can do this, but they don't, like you said, they seem to have lost that vision. They just,
Yeah. I mean, my first ever obstacle course race, I apologize. Midnight really wants to go OUT. Um, this is what I say. She
that's,
sees that I'm doing something and she's like, oh, it's a great time for you to take me OUT.
yeah,
I'm like, I'm like, here, I have all of these bullhorns. You love them, take them. And she's like, nope,
nope. I'm going to go
I'm gonna
OUT.
just sit here and bark in your face. Uh, but yeah, my first ever obstacle course race was called Urban Raid. They were a smaller series in the Northeast. They had a 5K that they would set up through. Mine was in Boston, obviously. They had one set in like Portland, Maine, and they had it in a part of like New York City. And then they also had a version that was called Beach Raid, and they put it on a beach in Maine, in Rhode Island. And it was like, again, 5K. At one point, we scaled the wall of City Hall up a cargo net, went from the ground into like the first level of our hideous City Hall. And like it was fun. And people were walking around saying, what is this? You have people climbing a monkey bar, out on, you know, where was it? It was Long Wharf. So like right there by Faneuil Hall. And then you have people, climbing, like hopping through tires in the middle of Faneuil Hall. You have them climbing a rope at City Hall Plaza. And people are like, oh my gosh, this is great. What is this? And more people wanted to come in. Spartan really tried with their city series. They were doing that intro level where, didn't really bring all the money. It didn't even count as a trifecta, but it was getting people in the door. But they were so focused on email addresses that they weren't saying, hey, you just did a city race. Like, come do another race. Let's get you ready for the next races. I've mentioned it so many times. Right before COVID, I pitched to their life department, let me write content geared towards that middle of the pack, moving people from open to age group to elite. They said, no, that's not our demographic. I said, what do you mean it's not your demographic? You're selling season passes, you're selling trifecta passes. How is this not your demographic? We want to keep
yeah,
people around.
yeah.
But no,
Did you?
not our demographic.
I
And
did
now,
see they are doing the city race again.
they are.
I just saw a email or a advertisement for one in Dallas.
Oh, that's good. Good for them.
So yeah, well,
Hopefully they don't put a DecaFit on the same day.
probably.
It is Yancey's backyard.
Yeah.
I mean, if they do a 50-50 like city Deca
See, that
hybrid,
would be
like that could
amazing.
work. That would be great.
Because I think
But
that'd be cool
like,
for me. Because I want to. I don't really. I don't know. I kind of want to do a DECA, but not really. Just to like basically try it. But at the same time, I'm like, it just doesn't seem like you said earlier. It just doesn't seem like it's for me. It's like the
yeah,
hurricane heats. I did one
yeah,
hurricane or two hurricane heats, and I'm like, cool. Everyone that does them, awesome. You're great. It's
yeah.
amazing. But it's not for me.
Congratulations. Not for
I
me.
I didn't enjoy it.
I think if they're going to do like little teasers or like entry level things, like by all means, like you should be having DecaFit, you know, teasers at races.
Hmm.
Just like it would be great if they included, some kind of obstacle previews at DecaFits. Like, why are you not, promoting both brands, but putting a big event on the same weekend as another big event that's going to pull from your base? No, that's a miss. That is a huge
Yeah.
miss. And the entire community is going to suffer because of it. Because not only are you pulling people from your race, you're pulling people from USA OCR. Um, that's Cirque Series. That's World's Toughest Mudder. But no, DecaFit
Yeah.
Boston and the Boston Super Sprint Weekend.
And that's kind of thing that's always surprised me is the fact that they don't. It does really seem like the brands don't talk to each other. It's like
Yeah.
they own them all, but all of a sudden when they're doing the scheduling, it's like you think you would have them all on the thing together saying, okay, hey, we don't want to do, a Tough Mudder in Portland because we have a Spartan in Seattle that same weekend.
You know
But
how many people I've talked to that go out to the Pan American whatever championships in Seattle every year? They're like, I would love to run Killington. I want to do the Killington Ultra, but it's always on the same weekend as the championship race.
yeah,
I've said it numerous times to Spartan, like, you have a weekend that you're putting a championship and you're sending them to Seattle versus Killington. Like, arguably, Killington is probably the tougher course, and that's where you're going to find the more successful of athletes. Granted, there are different strokes for different folks. Some people aren't mountain athletes and are going to succeed better out in Seattle. Are are they deemed champions? Sure, great. Um,
yeah.
but like, if you're going to have arguably the hardest race weekend in the US on the same weekend as a championship race, why would you not put the championship race at that hardest race in the US?
I've kind of wanted that
Or
too.
just like split it.
Yeah,
Seattle's the next week.
yeah.
Whatever, something.
Because Seattle, I'll be honest, it's always shocked me being in Washington, growing up in Washington, everything else. We have mountains all around us.
Yeah.
And Seattle's the flattest course I've ever been
Yes.
on.
Yes.
Like Seattle is flatter than Houston.
Yes. It's so flat. And I
And
mean,
I'm
hey, at
like,
least they moved it out of April, so it's not rainy. But like,
I'll be honest, I liked the April better.
really?
I did because it gave it a different challenge because it is so flat and so just bleh. At least the rain gave it the mud and gave it a little bit slick, gave a different challenge, some kind of challenge to it where like I mean, there's two big hills in Seattle and that's it.
Yeah. I ran it once and I was just absolutely miserable because of the rain, but I didn't even see a hill.
Yeah. There's like two that they usually use, and that's about it. But I mean, they're just small hills. I mean, compared to Seattle, I mean, I go out there, every year and do Sisu, which the only races I have like definitely on my schedule next year is Sisu and Ragnar. Um, but that's which I got to figure out Ragnar because I got to figure that out because my friend's getting married the day of that Ragnar starts, and he wants me to officiate the wedding. And I'm like, so I'll be in Washington, but I'm like, it's like the Friday of Ragnar, and I'm like, oh, so yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. But
Yeah, well, Sisu is also the same weekend as everything else that is going on, so I wouldn't be able
yeah,
to even
it's the
consider
same
it.
weekend as Warx. So because I
Yeah,
miss Warx every year because of it.
yeah.
But I mean, Sisu, the thing that's crazy, I mean, that I love about Sisu, I mean, I did 30 something miles last year with like, was it 5 or 6 thousand feet of elevation gain? That's a Seattle race. That's a Washington race. You have elevation where like the Seattle Spartan is maybe like 400 or 500 feet.
Wow.
And I'm like, what's the,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
It's
just
like how,
I just want them to figure their stuff out and like work towards building a sport again, work towards
yeah.
building a community.
Because that's been the thing, and we've talked about this before, is like COVID like ended that
Yeah.
in so many ways. Because I can remember before COVID, you went there, it was a party, it was a community, it wasn't just a race, it was an event.
Hmm.
COVID happened, everything went crazy, and then they had to change things up and they got rid of a lot of the event stuff because the way the rules were pretty much you showed up because I remember I did a couple races during like while everything was still kind of shut down but kind of open, and it
Yep.
was like you got there, you couldn't get there till 30 minutes before your start time, and then as soon as you were done there was no reason to stay. Like you
Yeah,
got
like
done and there was nothing, there was no vendors, there was nothing. You couldn't even talk. Like I remember going up to Steve Hammond and like, hey, can we get a picture together? And he's like, yeah, but just for the picture, I need to make sure I'm 6 feet behind you because yeah, whatever. And I'm like, cool. But like when the camera wasn't looking, we were like talking and like hugging and stuff, but
hmm
you couldn't even like even have that look like there was, wasn't protection. And oh, you had to have your mask on and be 6 feet apart in corral. But then as soon as you ran out of the corral, there was garbage cans so you could throw your mask away. So it's like, but
right.
they did all those things. And then all of a sudden it was like, once COVID ended and they're like, okay, all of that can come back. They just didn't bring it back because even when
Yeah.
you go there, there's two or three vendors and there's usually the, border patrol, a couple, like whoever the sponsor is, Rain and whatever, and like maybe three or four other people, and that's it.
It just everything about their races now just feels like desperation.
Mm.
They're clinging to any sign of life instead of creating something again. It's, we're just trying to get by. We're trying
Yeah,
to stay afloat. And it's like, well, you're dying a slow death, and it's because you guys aren't trying.
yeah,
Like, give
and
us something new.
I think that was kind of it too. Is like I went to the Iron Man Waco this year, and I mean I did Galveston the last 2 years. I was at the festivals, and the festival was packed. Like there's people, there was vendors. I mean, they bring in other vendors. Like I was shocked at the one vendor they had the like Cavender's, which is the boot place, had a booth inside the Iron Man. I'm like, who's buying cowboy boots to do an Iron Man? But I they had everything. It was again, it was a party. It was a festival. And
Yeah,
that's what Spartan just quit doing. They don't have the festival vibe anymore.
yeah,
Wow. But it's one of those things, I guess, we probably shouldn't brag on them too much, but it's so easy.
I know. Hey, I mean, that was my biggest complaint with Killington is as soon as they moved to Bear Mountain, they lost literally any hope of having spectators, having that like Spartan summer camp vibe again. You would only see somebody when they started and when they finished, whereas
Yeah.
when they had it at K1, you would see them start, they would come around, you would see them at the bottom of the death march, you'd get on the gondola, you'd go up to the top of the death march, you'd come back down, you'd see them run through again, go back up the mountain, come back around, and then finish. And you could see your athlete at least 5 times without moving or at most getting on the gondola to go up and down the mountain once.
Yeah.
It's like that was prime Spartan because it created this party. Like
Hmm.
sitting on top of the death march was like a party. You would go up there and just watch everybody coming up and see the looks on their faces. And you would have people giving out shots and candy and blaring music. You'd see all of the ultras coming through, all of the beast racers. And it's like everybody was so supportive of one another.
Yeah.
And like you didn't even have to try to go see them. It was like, hey, we're waiting for a friend to finish. Let's go up to the top of the death march.
Mhm.
Now you're at Bear Mountain. You're like, oh man, like I'm sitting here waiting for somebody to finish, and we don't even have access to anything. I mean, we can get on the shuttle to get over to K1 if we really wanted, but that's going to take a while, and we don't know when they're going to be here again.
Yeah. And I think that was the biggest thing is like a lot of the races that the other ones I've done have that whole thing, like the Ironman. I go
Yeah.
back to that just because that's the one I experienced really this year. The Ironman, there was multiple places where you could go and watch your athlete.
Hmm.
There was multiple places that, if someone wanted to, they could go and say, okay, they're going to be here. Like there was one lady, I swear to God, I saw her like 7 times because her husband was like right behind me
Yeah.
forever. And she knew, she could look at the route and she figured, okay, where I could go to see him next. And there was other places where there was people just partying so they could cheer on the athletes as they went by. It was the same thing at the rock and roll half marathon that I did in Vegas. I mean, there was people constantly, signs cheering like, woo. My favorite sign has still always been, if you pass out, I'll turn off your Garmin. That was like, that's someone who understands runners. But it was, there's all that. And Spartan used to before COVID had that. Not as much because a lot of the courses it was hard to like get to certain places to watch people, but they had things like you're talking about, Killington, where they would go out of their way, it seemed like, to make sure like if the spectators wanted to see, they could go.
Yeah, it was the same with Tahoe. They put Tahoe right there at Squaw Valley in the festival area. They'd run you straight through the little village at the ski area. You could get up to the top of the mountain, whatever else, and like you were seeing people at multiple times. Even if they, went up to the top, you could take the gondolas up, hang out up there. They'd come back down. You could catch them in the village, run through. Then they would go back up to up the mountain. You could go try and find them, come back down. Like it was possible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely interesting the way things have changed. I think part of it too is they're different race directors. The older race directors that are all gone now, when they designed them with the idea of, hey, like I can remember Seattle one year. I think we came in and like butted up against festival, I think like four different times.
Hmm.
Like we would come in like in towards festival and then like basically the trail, like we were basically right on the side of the festival and then back, did a couple obstacles right there next to festival and then off we went. And then
Yeah,
came around, a couple miles later, whoop, right back into next to the festival, did a couple obstacles right next to festival, and then whoop. And there was like I think over half the obstacles where you could sit in festival and watch and see like over half the obstacles.
hmm,
And then there was other places like Montana. They never really had that because Montana it was tough because that was just you were up and down the side of a mountain and there was really no way for spectators to get out there. And I get that on those ones, but there's other ones that it's like it's possible they just doesn't seem like
yeah.
they yeah. It's different, you know, but who knows? Maybe things will change and they'll see it differently, but who knows?
I want the sport of 2016, 2017, even when OCRWC, where you would see people gathering around all of the obstacles and helping people as they were
Yeah.
fighting for their bands. You don't see that anymore.
Yeah.
There is no supportive community now. There's such divisiveness post COVID of, oh, either do hard stuff or stop complaining. And it's like, why can't we just be like supportive of one another and say like, give it your best try. And like, if you can't do your burpees as a penalty, like that's okay. Do what you can.
Yeah. And I think that is part of the thing is it's happened quite a bit because you're seeing it in all sorts of stuff, like just even in running communities. I mean, where people are like, oh, if you're walking, you're not really doing it. If you're
Yeah,
walking, you shouldn't be out there. And it's like, what? You know?
literally. I have been spending way too much time on Reddit lately, and somebody posted in like a running community and said, um, I just started running, but I don't consider myself a runner. What are the guidelines to consider yourself a runner? And I said, if you run, you are a runner. And then somebody today in like an ultra running community had posted about how there are no watches or that they're struggling to find a watch that can last the entirety of an ultra. And like everything seems to die. And I posted like, hey, um, either you're going to have to turn off all of this stuff or you might be able to find older model Garmin that has ultra track that should be able to last. And somebody responded, oh, ultra track is such junk, and oh, just you need to buy a watch that doesn't have ultra track, and like you really just need to spend the money. And it's like, well, if somebody is going from a watch that only lasts 12 hours, like an ultra track is an option, why would you discourage them from getting there? Like baby steps.
Yeah.
Like it's not about you have to commit and buy $1,000 watches just to be considered an ultra runner. You
Yeah.
can like you don't know what exactly they're looking for, and if they just want to be able to look at their watch on hour 32 and see that they're still going, ultra track is great. Who
Yeah.
cares that the GPS might be off slightly? Who cares that, they might not be getting a heart rate? It's the fact that they can see their time and they can see some mileage and they can attach it to their Garmin app or their Strava and say, hey, look what I did. Like,
Yeah.
who cares how much money they're spending
Yeah.
on their watch? They just want to go and they want to do an ultra and be able to look at their watch at the end of it all.
Yeah.
And
I had
like,
that when I stepped up because I had Fitbit forever. And then I'm
yeah,
like, okay, I need something better because the Fitbit was only lasting like, even without exercising, it was lasting like a day. And I'm like, I can't charge my watch every night. It's freaking retarded. And then I freaking, was like, hey, I want to step up to a Garmin. I had so many people like, oh, you need to get the newest one. You need to get this. And I'm like, I'm not spending $1,000 on a watch
yeah,
when I'm not even sure if I want it.
right.
Because I've never worn a big watch. I would like the Fitbits because they were small. And I
Hmm.
never wore a watch that was bigger. And I'm like, I don't even know if I'm gonna want to wear this thing. So I had a friend of mine that had an older one that's like, hey, I'm not using it anymore. I just bought a new one. You want it for $100? And I'm like, sold. And I had so many people like, oh, that's an older model. You don't want that one. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Who cares that it's
Yeah,
an older model?
yeah,
It does what I need it to do. It's going to keep track of my steps. It's going to track my workouts. I can do triathlons. I can do duathlons. I can do whatever I want with it. That's what I want. So why does it matter?
right.
And Garmin was great because I actually broke it within a year and they freaking replaced it for free.
Amazing.
And it was a secondhand watch. But,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, I just want this entire community to get back to being like supportive and saying like,
yes.
just go and challenge yourself. It doesn't matter if you're coming in first or last, if you're doing your penalties, if you're beating all the
Hmm.
obstacles, like, you finished, wear that medal proud.
Yeah.
And
And
now
I,
like if you're wearing a red headband, if you're in a competitive wave, it's
yes.
different. Like we can still be supportive in competitive waves by all means, but race with integrity. But
Yeah.
you don't need, if you're in an open class, do what you can. Like that's your race and just go out and challenge yourself. And everybody should be proud of the people for doing that.
Oh yeah. No, I had it at the South Carolina because I was with Blind Pete, and one of the obstacles we didn't feel safe for him doing is being blind. Um, so we went by, and I had someone called me out because they thought I had a red headband on, and I'm like, no. I'm like, because I wasn't wearing I wasn't wearing the Spartan headband. I had my
Yep.
Dealers for Hope, which is red. They're like, hey, and I'm like, no, this isn't a red headband. Trust me, if I was wearing a red headband, I would be doing everything with integrity. But at this point, I'm an open runner with an athlete, and for safety reasons, I'm not going to make the blind guy do bender. Hmm.
I wish Spartan would give out guide bibs like they did at the para championships.
Hmm.
Like if they could have a way to identify para guides,
Yeah,
that would be really great.
yeah. Because I've had a couple times. Because usually, I mean, when we've talked about this, usually when I'm guiding someone, either one, I won't do the obstacle at all, depending on what needs to be, what the athlete needs, or some of them, like I said, for like Bender, he didn't feel comfortable being blind and climbing Bender.
Yeah,
Like, cool, I get that.
I'm not blind and I don't feel comfortable
Yeah,
climbing Bender.
exactly. So I mean, hey, so we went by it, but it was kind of funny how someone, which at that point too, I wasn't even mad at the person. I'm like, nope, I'm not a red headband, but thanks for checking my integrity, but
Thanks,
because
I'm a guide.
yeah, because if you're wearing the red headband, I would be the same. Like, hey, because I can remember when I did, because I
Yeah.
ran a couple of competitive like in 2021, and I can remember on one of them watching a guy that was in my age group, like we both failed an obstacle, went down to go do burpees, and I was on like burpee number two, and he suddenly got up and ran, and I'm like,
Yeah,
there's no way you did 30 burpees in the time I did two.
right. I mean, they
So
don't even have somebody counting burpees anymore, but whatever.
no,
I saw that in Jersey. There was so after the lightning delay, we all had to go out and finish. And like all we had to do, it was like maybe 1 mile left, had to go up, do like the sandbag carry and like the bucket carry and some other things. And there was a guy with a red headband as we got to the sandbag carry. And I grabbed my sandbag and I'm going, and he has a red headband on. He's not carrying a sandbag. I said, where's your sandbag? You have a red headband. He said, that sign said if I have a reason why I can't complete it. I don't have to carry the sandbag. I said, you have a red headband on. That doesn't apply to you.
Yeah. No.
And
Yeah.
then when the photographer got pictures, there are pictures of him without his sandbag in my pictures. And I'm like, we see you. You
Yeah.
shouldn't have gotten your buckle.
No. No, and that's what gets me. It's like if you're gonna wear the red headband, and when I did, the couple times I did wear the red headband, I did everything. If I
Yeah,
didn't make it, I did my burpees, I did my penalty loop or whatever. Back then, I there wasn't really. I think there was like two that they did penalty loops on, but it was all like the burpees. But if I'm open heat, whatever. Because most time, like I said, now I'm guiding someone, so I'm going to go with what the athlete needs. But yeah, if I wear the red headband, that's a completely different. Like I'm there, because I remember doing San Antonio and I was smoked because
yeah,
San Antonio they basically was supposed to be a super and a sprint, and they ended up not having enough room for a super. So the sprint ended up being they called it the ultra sprint or ultra super because it was just two loops of the sprint.
right.
So that meant that it was way more obstacles than it should have been. But I mean, it
Yep.
was, yeah. So I mean, it was two laps of the sprint. So by the time you hit the end, and the end of it was like just upper body heavy, it was, a lot of, the
Yeah.
the Herc hoist, and then the rope, I think, was one of the last obstacles. By the time we got to the end, there was like me and one girl that were just looking at each other like, see you in the next burpee pit, because my arms, I like can't even lift them, let alone do any of this, you know.
Right.
But it was crazy. I mean, it was one of those things. But yeah, if the red headband changes everything, and I think
Yeah.
that's what gets me on a lot of the posts on like the Spartan stuff on Facebook, where everyone's like, "Oh, you have to, blah blah blah," and it's like, if you're wearing the red headband, if you're wearing the
Yeah.
black one, it's always been do your race and shut up.
The only time I'll ever say anything otherwise is if it comes down to music and headphones and speakers, and
Yeah,
it's like, that's a safety thing.
yeah, and it's one of those things. And I will be honest, bone conduction, I'm kind of okay with, but it still cracks me up that like Iron Man now Shocks is one of their sponsors, but you still can't use them on the course.
Yeah. Shocks was one of the sponsors at Fenway.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
I like him because I wear them when I run because I can listen to podcasts and stuff like that. But at the same time, I can still hear
Yeah.
everything
I am
around me.
looking to get myself a pair of the like shock buds. Um, just because Midnight and I go out on the trails. And like right now I'll have like one ear in, one ear out
Yeah.
when I'm running with her. Mostly, I mean, regardless, if I'm running with her, I only wear one because I need to be able to talk to her and communicate.
Yeah.
Um, and she loves everybody and everything.
Hmm.
So like if I hear or see anything, like I need to be able to get her in control very
Yeah.
quickly. So I do want to get those specifically for when I'm with Midnight. Um, but
They are
whenever I'm
great.
out on trails too, I just need to have something better.
Yeah. They're great. I even have the swim ones that I can
Yeah.
use in the pool.
Oh,
So
great.
they have like an MP3 thing. So when I'm in the pool, I can just I have a playlist that's on the MP3 mode of them. Click it into the M3 P3 mode because most people don't realize this. Bluetooth does not work underwater. So
Oh, really? I
no.
didn't know that.
I didn't either until I was like, oh, well, I'll just, use the
Yeah.
Bluetooth and swim. Every time my head would go underwater as I would turn, I would lose signal.
So wait, why does my heart rate monitor have a way to clip the Bluetooth sensor to like a swim cap?
I don't know. They must not use a different for something, but yeah, I've looked into other things and they basically all say that any headphones with Bluetooth won't work underwater.
Fascinating. I mean, I'm not swimming, so like I've never used my heart
Yeah.
rate monitor for swimming or in
It might
water.
be one of
Mine
those
is,
things, maybe if they're both in the water. I don't know.
uh,
I don't know. Yeah, but I know it wouldn't like every time my head would go underwater and I would turn so that like put my face in the water, I would lose connection. Then when I turned my head to breathe, I'd suddenly get connection again.
that's funny.
So I'm like, what the hell is wrong? And then I
That's
realized
so
that's what it
funny.
was. So yeah, then I put in the MP3 mode and I can just, yeah. So I'll put on the MP3 mode and I'll go swim for my hour and listen to my insane music. And yeah, works out pretty well. But like I said, I can still hear what's around me. So,
Yeah,
but
awesome.
you know, well, we're probably hitting that hour mark. So, and this has been
Yeah,
fun. It's always fun talking to you. I enjoy talking to
always
you.
fun. I want to be able to record an episode where it's not us being down and depressed on the state of the
I do too.
community.
I do too. I think it's
Like,
just one of those things that, especially now, because it's like the off season, so we get to think about like, hey, what's going wrong with it? What could we do to fix it? And it's tough because there's not much we can do.
I know. I'm trying. I'm really trying, and that's why I'm killing
Yeah,
myself right now because I don't have enough time off to
yeah,
actually focus on anything else. But um, you know what could fix this? More dog races.
yes.
Let's bring
Any more
back
dog races?
didn't they have like a dog race for Tough Mudder or something?
I think so. I know there was a couple in Washington. They weren't like branded like Tough Mudder or Spartan, but there was a couple of dog ones
Yeah,
because we
there are
took our
still a
dog to
couple
one.
dog obstacle course races. We need more dog OCRs.
We do because I know we tried with our dog, but she didn't like water, so
Oh
did
yeah,
not
no,
go well.
Midnight, I had to drag her through the roaring rapids in her first OCR, but now she's getting a lot better. So,
Yeah, we have one that would definitely go charging through it, but
yeah.
yeah,
So if
yeah,
anybody is listening, create more dog OCRs.
yes, yes,
That
definitely.
that will cure everything.
It would. It
It
would.
would. It really would.
Right on. All right.
Okay.
Well, you have fun. And if I don't talk to you beforehand, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that fun stuff.
Have a wonderful holiday. We will definitely talk soon.
Oh, all right. Talk to you
Okay.
later.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the BeastNet podcast. If you haven't done it yet, find us on Facebook, like and share the podcast. Give us a review on iTunes or Spotify. All these things will help to expand the show in the future. Don't forget to subscribe and let us know what you think and what you'd like to hear.